what's going on, everyone? So, when you think of 2D platforming, the first name that should, without a doubt, pop into your gaming head is Super Mario. Super Mario invented what we know today as the 2D platformer, or just platforming in general. Mario was king and everyone wanted his crown, but hardly anyone could come close. Not at least when 2D Mario games were still innovating. From Super Mario Bros. To Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES, then to what is arguably for many still the greatest 2D platformer ever made, which is Super Mario World. And over time I've started to not include Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo as a Mario game, because even though it's labeled as Super Mario World 2, which I think is one of Nintendo's most notable silly moves when naming sequels, although they clearly done that for a reason. We have to be honest. You don't control Mario in that game, and it doesn't play like Mario. It doesn't play like a Mario game in any real way. But Yoshi's Island is still greatness, and is still one of the best 2D platformers ever made. Some will argue it's better than Super Mario World. And this leads us to today. After Super Mario World, the only real mainline 2D Mario games we've had are from the new Super Mario Bros. Series of games, which invaded the Nintendo Wii, the Nintendo DS, 3DS, and Nintendo Wii U. The problem with these games are that they play many things too safe, and haven't, in my opinion, taken the same leaps over their predecessors as Super Mario Bros. 1 on the NES did to Super Mario Bros. 2, then Super Mario Bros. 3, and onto Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Each game, I suppose, feeling utterly unique, original, and building upon the designs and innovations that their predecessors delivered, and showing clear evolutions. I haven't heard anyone say that any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games have toppled Super Mario World or even Super Mario Bros. 3 as being the kings of 2D Mario games. Of course, you'll have the odd few people, but in terms of the general consensus, most people agree this isn't the case, and Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 are still the GOAT. The GOAT. But also during this time, other 2D platformers have continued to enter the scene. Many during Mario's reign as king, and many during the new Super Mario Bros. Era, where 2D Mario still has been, where 2D Mario's title has been greatly challenged, and with many agreeing that it's been surpassed by some games, and I'm one of those people. Even on the Super Nintendo, games like Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest are held as the best platforming games on the SNES. Debatable, of course, but the fact that they got close or even surpassed Mario in some people's eyes shows that the king of platformers is never safe, even when you're on top. And those games, although Nintendo titles, were also done by Rareware, a different company essentially. But in my opinion, this is where Mario should be, right? In terms of platformers, he should be on top, because he's been the template that everyone has followed, tried to replicate, sometimes succeeded, but certainly failed on more occasions. Roll forward to modern times where Mario has been sitting in his void of comfort, yet not innovating or pushing 2D platformers forward in the same way he once did back in the Super Nintendo and the NES days. And during these times, we've seen some stellar titles that, in my opinion, step over Mario in terms of quality 2D platforming goodness. Some of these games are, for example, Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. Both of these titles are shining examples of quality from the house of Ubisoft, of all people. I always rated Rayman 2 as one of the best 3D platformers ever, and still do, but now I also rate Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends games as some of the best 2D platformers ever. Ubisoft didn't sit back with these games either. In terms of level design, innovation, graphics, and sound, Rayman went from Rayman 1, his first game, first 2D game on the PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn and PC back in the day, to Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. The jump in quality was just staggering. Not once did I feel that from Super Mario World to new Super Mario Bros. On the DS or Wii, and later on the 3DS and Wii U, not once did I feel that same leap, and that makes me sad. Then for another title, of all the characters, Sonic the Hedgehog comes back with Sonic Mania. Now, there's the argument, of course, that Sonic Mania looks like a Sega Mega Drive game, but in reality, Sonic Mania looks more like what a 2D Sonic game would have been like on a Sega Saturn, perhaps. The developers understood, though, what was needed from Sonic after all these years of horrendous 3D titles, and gave fans a taste of both the past and the future. Sonic Mania is 2D platforming glory at Sonic's 2D height. Fresh original levels mixed with a revamp of classic ones, stunning animation, and a soundtrack to die for. Sonic Mania is just pure joy to play, and I can only hope that lessons were learned, and the next game is a true next-gen 2D Sonic title, taking, that one character where many fans preferred his adventures over Mario's, which was crazy as well. I loved Sonic 2 is still one of my favourite Sonic games ever. Oh, it actually is my favourite Sonic game ever. Some people these days, now also view games like Ori, Hollow Knight, Super Meat Boy, etc. as platform games, and although they indeed have platforming, these aren't true 2D platform games in my opinion, as they mix in different elements of different genres or focus on certain platforming styles that moves them away from what I consider to be pure 2D platforming games. But either way, many of these games are stunning titles and show just how some genres that move to the next level, based on what came before, have can do. Then we enter the house of Nintendo again with the likes of Yoshi's Woolly World, a game I now personally rate over Yoshi's Island as the king of Yoshi games. But looking past that, Yoshi's Woolly World is a stunning platformer executed to near perfection in all departments, and for me the true next worthy successor to Yoshi's Island, where all the other Yoshi games in between failed on a number of levels to do that job. Yoshi's Woolly World has a unique style of its own, and because of that it shines above the new Super Mario Bros. Series in a wealth of ways, in my opinion. Then to come full circle, we have what I consider to be the greatest 2D platformer ever made, and it comes from a character who helped push Mario into the spotlight essentially, and that's Donkey Kong, in the utterly sublime and sheer perfection that is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Once again, this is a Nintendo title, but developed by Retro Studios, a studio which seems to do what Nintendo arguably can do with some of their biggest names. Retro Studios, before Tropical Freeze, also developed Donkey Kong Country Returns, which once again is another game which in my opinion steps over the entire new Super Mario Bros. Series of games. But it wasn't until Tropical Freeze, in my opinion, where they really stepped up from the template that Rareware set and took Donkey Kong to the top of the mountain, knocking off not only the new Super Mario Bros. Series, but also, in my humble opinion, the entire 2D Mario series as being the kings of the 2D platforming space. And why, you may ask? It's pretty simple for me. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze takes everything that we love about 2D platformers, takes everything that came before with the previous Donkey Kong games, takes everything that the hardware it released on could offer in terms of sounds and visuals, and nails every aspect of the genre in an adventure that just encapsulates what was once great about 2D Mario games, and what's also great about 2D platformers. It's just nothing but pure platforming joy, in my opinion. Now, New Super Mario Bros. U is by no means a bad game. Far from it. Even as it stands, there are not many other pure 2D platformers that can easily stamp it out. But as a Mario game, as the first next-gen 2D Mario game, it, in my opinion, was pretty bland in terms of level design, originality, music, new moves, and most of all, just general platforming. Once again, it's still a good game. I love the Miiverse integration on the Wii U, and the speedruns that could be done with the assist of creating platforms with the Wii U gamepad was great to watch. But man, I have no desire to play it again, whatsoever, which is vastly different to Super Mario World, which I still play to this day, and I even still jump on the original Mario 2, and Mario Bros. 3. It's time for Mario to return with a truly original and epic 2D adventure. You know, one that makes you go, yes, now this is a Mario game, and not only blows Super Mario World out of the water, but also confidently jumps over Donkey Kong, giving him a quick slap, reminding him that, yes, DK, you are awesome, but I'm the real king of platformers here. I want to be wowed by the visuals, as the art style of the new Super Mario Bros. Series has never really gelled with me. I want a soundtrack that rivals the likes of Super Mario Galaxy, Mario 3D World, and Mario Odyssey. I want completely unique worlds like we've never seen before, which unto themselves inspired a wealth of new gameplay mechanics and ideas. The types of ideas that only Super Mario games can get away with and execute with perfection. All I'm asking for is Super Mario to be super in 2D again, so we can all confidently go, yes, the king has returned. And of course, the game should be on the Nintendo Switch, a console which is more than capable of delivering something truly special, as it's done this already with other titles. So, what are your thoughts, people? Has the new Super Mario Bros. Series taken 2D Mario to the next level for you? Or are you like me, where you're still waiting for that true sequel, that true successor to the utter perfection that was Super Mario World? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I'll reply to every single one of you. Thanks for listening, take care at all, and peace.